Hello and welcome again to Azure Community Conference. How is your day going so far? Enjoying? Cool. Learning new things? Perfect. That's what these sessions and these conferences meant for. And I'm hoping that you are going to learn new thing in my session as well and in rest of the conference as well. So let's quickly start my session. So my session is about managing SIEM, that's Security Information Event Management, SOAR, that's Security Orchestration, Automation and Response using Azure Sentinel. So it's about managing SIEM and SOAR using Azure Sentinel. Before we move further, a quick introduction around me. My name is Keshav and I'm working as a senior professional system engineer at DXC Technologies at Workplace and Mobility. I hold around 12 years of experience. Most of my experience is in monitoring and infrastructure management domain. In day-to-day work, I mostly deal with the tools like Azure Monitor, that's my favorite tool, Azure Log Analytics, Azure Sentinel, System Center Operations Manager, and other third-party monitoring tools. A quick disclaimer about my session. So whatever I'm going to discuss in my session, those all are completely my own view. I'm not going to represent my employer strategies or employer security strategies like their SIM or a SOAR strategies, and neither I'm going to present the views of my employer. Whatever I'm going to present are solely my own view. Okay, so let's move in the session. So before we start things around the Azure Sentinel, I'm going to talk about few important concepts like SIM and a SOAR. So SIM, uh, it's a security information event management. It all depends in which part of world you are and how you are pronouncing. So the pronouncing varies. Some call as a SIEM, someone call as a SIM. But yeah, I'm calling it as a SIM. So so if it's a system that collects log files, security alerts, and events into a one particular place, a one central place, so that the security teams can more easily analyze data. In a short definition, we can call it as a log management log management tool that's very much specialized for doing the security stuff. SIM is a really a very important solution or a concept for cyber security and compliance monitoring. SIEM solution can pull all the security data and information from other security systems like firewall, endpoint, syslogs, application, intrusion detection systems, Active Directory, cloud, and many other places as well. These all places actually generates tons of security alerts every day. With SIM, we can collect all of these data at one central place that has capabilities of reporting and sending out the notification. So if we are defining a good SIM tool, then it should have a functionality that can do log aggregation, that can provide logging and reporting for compliance monitoring purpose, should have all the compliance functionality so that we can easily do the compliance monitoring and use this data during audits or at some other times. And a very, very important functionality is automated cross correlation and analysis of all the raw event data from across your entire network so that this can be used for identifying threats and discovering the threats and taking the appropriate actions. After SIM, the another important concept is SOAR. That's security, orchestration, automation, response. So it's actually a collection of software and tools that allow organizations to streamline security operations in a three important key areas. The first is threat and vulnerability management. Second is incident response. Third is security operation automation. So it's about automatic handling of security operations related tasks. So most of the SOAR solutions has a playbook. In response to, they have a playbook that acts in response of specific threats. Each playbook can be fully automated or set up for a single click execution without human intervention. Now, further moving to a security operations center. So, security operations center is responsible for monitoring and analyzing an organization's security posture on an ongoing basis. SOC team's goal is to detect, analyze, and respond to cyber security incident using the combination of technology solution. So the SIEM, SOAR, and other vulnerability management techniques like threat intelligence, they all are part of the security operations center. Now let's move to the challenges with the existing SIEM and a SOAR tools. So far we have discussed about the terms SIEM, SOAR and SOC. SIEM and SOAR existing tools has some challenges, so we are going to talk about them. So on-premises SIEM and SOAR solution are struggling to keep pace with the increasing volume and a variety of our data they process. They are lacking with a central orchestrator and a coordinator for all their security efforts. Their inability to their SIM and SOAR solution to scale up and value of alerts that they investigate. Some tools are very complex to set up. Cost has always been a challenge, and some of these tools are lacking the integration with the modern day automation tools. So now here comes Azure Sentinel in picture. Before we talk about the Azure Sentinel, let's talk about why the solution from the Microsoft. So Microsoft is investing heavily in a security in a recent years. Gone are the past days when Microsoft antivirus software was not that watertight. After those days, now Microsoft has done some serious security solutions and a very serious investment in the security solutioning like EDR, uh, Windows Defender, and a very recent thing that they announced is Azure Information Protector. So Microsoft owns both Azure and Windows, and they are poised to become the biggest security player in the world. So that's the reason, like we choose this security solution, the SIEM solution from the Microsoft, and that's called Azure Sentinel. So Azure Sentinel is a cloud native solution that can do both SIEM and a SOAR. I'll just repeat what exactly is the SIEM. SIEM is the security incident and event monitoring, and SOAR is security orchestration and automated response. So, since Azure Sentinel hosted in the cloud, so it easily eliminates the infrastructure and management complexity. You just have to configure the SIEM Sentinel over the Azure portal, and then it will be ready to work. It can easily be scaled up to meet your dynamic needs. It can investigate security data even from the multiple cloud and on-premises solutions. So we can collect the data from the AWS or a GCP or any other third-party cloud. It has ability to analyze large data volume. It can easily do the alert triages, log management, and storage, and provides very awesome hunting capabilities. So that's the reason like people are now preferring the Azure Sentinel Fusion. So Azure Sentinel actually uses the machine learning, and that machine learning concept is called Fusion. So Azure Sentinel Fusion is built especially to reduce the alert fatigue. the three pillars in the Azure Sentinel fusions includes Fusion, the built-in machine learning, and it provides you an option of build your own machine learning. So the Fusion looks at alerts coming from a different sources and tries to find out if there is a connection between them in order to uh, further uh, doing the casing, and like we can identify them with the high confidence. Fusion uses the graph-powered machine learning algorithms to correlate between the millions of low-fidelity anomalous activities to combine them into a manageable number of interesting security cases. Now, Sentinel also make uses of the graph security API, and it's a very important concept in terms when it comes to the Sentinel. So the graph security is to in a simple way, in a simple word, the MS Graph is used to access the data. So the Graph Security API collects information from a many different security products, and this allows Sentinels to easily access data or alert from Azure Active Directory, Azure Protection, Security Center, Microsoft Cloud App Security, Microsoft Intunes, and Microsoft Defender ATP. In fact, it can easily integrate with the other software that makes use of the Graph Security API. So Graph Security API is at the core of the Azure Sentinel. Now the log analytics workspace. So the whatever the data is collected for the Sentinel to process, it is actually stored uh, in the log analytics workspace. So the Azure Sentinel is actually powered by the Azure Log Analytics. Sentinel uses the Azure Log Analytics as its backend to store the data. When setting up the Azure Sentinel for the first time, it allows you to create a new log and analytics workspace, or you can pick up any existing workspace to store your data. And Log Analytics Workspace uses the Gusto query languages, that's a KQL, to read from the data. So it's a very big data. If you want to fetch any meaningful information, then you have to run the KQL queries. These KQL queries are similar to the SQL queries, but not exactly the SQL queries, but they are very much similar to the KQL queries. So it is used to actually ensure a cloud scale log management solution for both cloud-based and the physical data center workloads. Now, a very important thing in the Azure Sentinel is the Azure Sentinel data connectors. So we discussed about the machine learning. So to get that machine learning model to work and Fusion to work, it needs to feed up with the right data. Azure Sentinel includes the connector. This connector provides real-time integration with the many industry solutions. It enables easy connections to a variety of the Microsoft services such as Office 365, of Azure Active Directory, Azure Advanced Threat Protection, and a Microsoft Cloud App Security, and many more. So these connector Sentinel has a variety of the connector, and these connectors can just fetch up the data from the uh, from the other solutions. So we can also collect data from existing security solutions using these connectors such as firewalls, routers, endpoint security, and many more using the built-in connectors. So there are multiple type of connectors available. If you divide into, if you categorize into the categories, then there is a native connector, there is a direct connector, there is a API based connector, then the agent based connector. So the native connector are like something similar to the Azure AD connector, Office 365, or a cloud app security, etc. kind of a connectors. Direct connectors are some connectors available in the Sentinel to need to be configured from the source location. Like you want to pull up the data from the Amazon Web Services or Azure Firewall or Azure Network Security Group or a Microsoft Intune, then you have to configure these solutions at their end. Then there is a API based connectors. So they have API options that allow connections to made to their solutions in order to extract the logs and bring data to the Sentinel. Some of the example could be the information protection or a Barracuda web application firewall. So with the API connection, we can collect the data from there. Then that's come the agent-based connector. So you just have to deploy the agent and that will connect the data for you. So agent based is like installing the log analytics agent over the Windows machine or a syslog server agent on a Linux machines and then pulling up the data. The example would be the pulling up the data from the Carbon Black or a Cisco Iron Port, Citrix, F5, Palo Alto, or a Trend Microsoft. Then there is a common event format, CEF. It's a very important thing. So it has a capability to pull up the CEF log using the syslog servers as well. The example would be the Zscaler uh, or a F5 firewall or a Cisco thing. So let's move to the another slide. That's about the threat management. So, as discussed in the earlier slide, Microsoft is investing heavily in the security, right? So we can safely assume that millions are invested in developing the security products and solutions for their platform. They are investing, Microsoft is investigating billions of signals every day to find out, to improve their threat management capability. So the cybersecurity is a bit complex, and the sophistication of the modern attack, it is very difficult for the organization to keep track of the vulnerability, understanding what to look for and deciding what to do when you see a system anomaly or any other potential threat is coming, uh, and it's complex and a time consuming. Uh, that this is where the threat management actually comes into the picture. So the threat management, I mean, or we can call it as a threat intelligence, it's provide the list of the indicators for detection and blocking malicious activities. I'm sure you must have heard about some keywords like threat indicators, alert, definitions, or adversarial uh, tactics, techniques, and common knowledge that's known as AT and CK. Trusted automated exchange of indicator information, taxis, and threat connects. So the AT NCK taxi are a trademark of Mitre Corporation. That's MITRE Corporation. And Microsoft provides access to its own threat intelligence feeds via Indicators API. Microsoft has some built-in connector for integration with feeds from Palo Alto Network or a Threat Connects or a Taxi or many things. So once our threat intelligence source are connected, we can create rules to generate alert and incident when any events are fired, and that matches with the threat indicators. So the Sentinel also provide hunting capabilities. Uh, so we can correlate threat intelligence with the event data via KQL queries to add contextual insights to an investigation, and this is done using the hunting capability. So in hunting section, you can go and search for any specific thing, or they have very their inbuilt definitions as well. You can make use of them. So the threat management has a various options to identify the threat and take appropriate actions. One is the analytics. So analytics uh, includes a set of a scheduled rule templates you can enable to generate alerts and incident based on matches of a log events, or you can make use of the workbooks as well. So the workbook are used to view the data or create a new dashboards, either from the scratch or based on the existing one. So the Sentinel has some pre-built workbooks which can be used for projecting the data over the dashboards, and these are very much similar to the workbooks which are there into the Azure Monitor. So if you have worked on the Azure Monitor workbooks, then you can easily make use of these. And the best at the best is like you can project the data over the dashboards, and it can be used for doing the further analysis and other stuff. The hunting capability, so it's quite important to do the hunting capability ability allows us to discover the hidden threats. Sentinel has a built-in support for hunting. So Sentinel comes with a pre-compiled KQL queries to find known indicator in the environment. So you can go to the hunting options, and there you can run the KQL queries. With that you can identify the threats, or you can use the any inbuilt thing. uh, the Azure Sentinel built-in hunting queries guide you in asking the right questions to find out issues in the data we already have in our network. The another option is the notebooks. So the notebooks are like they encapsulate all the hunting steps in a reusable playbook that can be shared with others. These notebook can be used threat indicator to assist with the investigation of anomalies and to hunt for any malicious behaviors. Now, another option is automated response. Here we make use of the security playbooks. So it's all about like how we are going to integrate it with the automation tool. So the Sentinel, as I said earlier, like there is a concept called SOAR, security orchestration. So the orchestration in the Sentinel is used with the help of the playbooks. These playbooks are actually a logic apps playbook which can be executed to perform any kind of action. So a very simple example would be like whenever there is a specific activity in your network. For example, if somebody has deployed the machine with some configuration which is not allowed in your environment, then you can send out an email. So this is actually not a classic example of the automation, but just I'm putting how you can use the logic app. So you can build up a logic app uh, that will pick up. There is a Sentinel connector, so that will pick up the data from the whenever there is any incident raised into the Sentinel, and then it will trigger out the notification. Or for example, if somebody is deploying the any Azure configuration which is not allowed in your environment, then you can probably disable it using the logic apps. So we call it as a security app. So when you are creating the making use of the analytics for generating the templates, there you have an options where you can define these all playbooks. Now in the next slide we are going for a demo. Okay, so let's move to the demo. So I will walk you through how the Sentinel, Azure Sentinel looks like, and what all activity we can perform it with the Azure Sentinel. Okay, let quickly switch it to the Azure portal, and from there we will start navigating it. So here is my Azure portal ready. If you want to search for the Azure Sentinel, the best option is just go to the box and type Azure Sentinel. So here I typed about the Azure Sentinel. So I have already configured the Azure Sentinel workspace, but I will walk you through how we can configure the Azure Sentinel and we can further utilize it. So if you want to add some Azure Sentinel, then just click on add. And as I said in the presentation, that the core of the Azure Sentinel is the log analytics workspace. So you have to either create a new log analytics workspace, uh, or you can link it with the existing one. So here, I mean, what you can do is you can name the Azure Sentinel, and whatever the name of the log analytics workspace, the name of the Sentinel is going to be. What I'm gonna do is I will just name it as AG conference 01. Okay, and then location is East US. Price is it just give you one choice, pay as you go, and then like you click on a create, then it will gonna create a log analytics workspace, and it's going to associate it with it. However, I already have the workspace, so I associate it with it. So once you open the log analytic, the Azure Sentinel, the name of the Azure Sentinel, actually Azure Sentinel doesn't have the name like the virtual machine have a name, or log analytics workspace has a name, but the Azure Sentinel doesn't have any name because it utilizes the log analytics workspace in the core. So once you log into the page, a very good thing you are going to see is uh, under the overview, you'll see number of events or a number of alerts that are being raised. So in my subscription, let's check for the activities for last 14 days. So once you come to the page, here you can see like in we have around 295 of event, 5 alerts were generated and 5 incident. Um, these many logs I am collecting it. 5 alerts I generated. There were some 132 actions related to the Azure activities, 44 actions into the audit logs, and many other things. And data source anomalies, I don't have it. A very good thing is like if there is any malicious event performed in your environment, then you can just see it at which exact location that anomalies activities were performed or the malicious activities were performed. I don't have any data, so I cannot see it, but in the map you can see it and you can easily correlate it. Now, couple of things. Uh, we talked about the fusion. So the fusion is somewhat related to the machine learning, and it's called democratize machine learning. So it is very important. That's the reason it is there on the front page. Okay, so we were talking about the incident. So for any SIEM tool, the very important piece is the incident. So in my Azure Sentinel uh, workspace, although it's related to the log analytics, so I'm just calling it the Azure Sentinel workspace. Here we can see these many alerts were generated. So somebody in my subscription has tried uh, doing some high risk office operations. So I have configured the rule for it to identify the high risk office operations. So that's the reason this alert is generated. Now the best capability that I see about this tool is it's give you an option of investigating. So we can just do the investigation, and here it'll tell you like what exactly was the operation, and who performed that operation, what was the alert rule name, and if you have any sensible alert. This is just for a demo, so it doesn't have much of information, but I mean if you have configured with the very good kind of a condition and anything, then you can have everything located over the map. So here you have insights, you can go in the insights or entities related to it. So this is the user who performed the actions and the timeline at around 5:47. So these were the activities related to the incident. So it will give you the option about incident where what all incidents are being raised. So we have around these many incident. I configured the alert. If any users adds account into the office activity, sorry, in the office 365, then just generate an alert. So here it says one account got created, so quickly we will navigate through it. I mean, show you about the investigate. So in investigate we can see this particular username was created. Now we have not seen this full details, so we can go it in the full details. This is the informational based alert that is being generated. So we can do this, and I mean you can some write comment. Okay, say fake alert or false, sorry, false positive. Or this kind of thing we can do it, and you can assign these all alerts to someone. If you want someone to investigate, then it does provide you an option of assigning it. So you can change the status from here and say assign it to me, assign it to shared mailbox. So okay, I will assign it to my niece. She's also using uh, these activities, so she's going to investigate on it, and I will say change the status to an active one. And if I want, I can make it as a high priority alert. I will ask her to investigate very properly. So from here, you can do these all activities. Okay, quickly. Let's jump to the workbooks. So as I said, like workbooks are kind of a template that can project the data over the dashboard. So we have a lot of inbuilt kind of a dashboards. In fact, very interesting thing that I saw, it provides you okay, Intune was there from the Intune portal. So let's see something related to it. We have something related to the Office 365. So we have Office 365 dashboards. That's called the workbook and the log analytics. So it will show us some kind of dashboards provided the data. So we will say, okay, show me the data for everything, Exchange, SharePoint, everything, and then user type is regular and admin for everything I want. So it has these kind of a dashboards. These can be utilized for doing the further analysis. So these are the dashboards where you can do these all things. If you know how to work on the workbook, then you can create your own. It just that you should be knowing the proper KQL query. That's very core. So once you have these queries with you, then you can do the workbook and project the data over the dashboards. Now we talked about the data. So from where the data is coming, that's a very important piece. For generating the alert or for generating the dashboards, we needed data. So data section comes from the data connector. So we have vivid variety of the connectors which are available. So we have Azure Active Directory, we have Azure Active Directory identity protection, and many things. So I will navigate you through the Office 365. This is the Office 365. We just have to open the connect page, and it will tell you what all configuration. So we need the global admin right, certain right. So whatever is the prerequisite, you will see it here, and simply you have to click on the apply changes. So for example, what we needed for setting up the Azure Active Directory. So this is Azure Active Directory. Here we will open this page, and we need the AAD P1 P2 license, P1 or a P2 license, or what all things we want to collect. So these data connectors are the core which is going to pull up the data. We have the data from AWS as well, and I believe there was a Google option. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. Although we can configure it as an API based or a third party based, we have the firewall data is coming, and F5 networks are there. Many things. Squadra Technologies, Pulse. I mean, if you are in the VPN world, then Pulse is a very important. Palo Alto is there, and say sorry, what was that? Syslog. Syslog is there, and so you can just configure the Syslog, and then there was a C8 common event formatting is there. So for some of the data, it heavily depend on the log analytics. So I will show you the log analytics as well. For that, I will just open the portal, and then we will come back to the log analytics. Now, if you remember, I have shown you some incident. So how you can generate the incident? For generating the incident, first you have to create a template that's going to generate the incident, right? So for doing that, what you have to do is just come to the analytics page, and then if you know if you know the KQL query for your need, for what all activities you want to do it, then you can make use of the create. Otherwise, it provides many options. Which data source? So let's say we will create it for the say I'll say okay, as Azure Active Directory suspicious application. uh, so this is the templates all about. I mean, the which template we are going to use, and here you can see this will alert when a user consents to provide a previously unknown Azure application with the same OAuth permission. Okay, so I will just create this so that we can have the alerting for this particular thing. So okay, I will say create alert rule. So once you come to the alert rule page, here you have to fill up these all things. So you can just name it as a something. So I will just name it as a Azure hyphen demo as its name. Tactics is there, which kind of tactics? So this is the defend and the credential type. What should be severity? Okay, let's make it as a high severity, and then it comes the logic. So logic is all about the KQL query. So if you want this query, that's fine. If you want to write your own query, you can do that as well. And here you can do the mapping. This is going to come into the when it comes to the investigate option. Now let's go to the automated response. So here, oh sorry, this is the incident setting, some specific setting. Create incident alert triggered by, so they want you to either enable it or disable it, so we will enable it. And then auto closer kind of a thing is there, and then here it comes the uh, Azure logic app. So I want to perform certain actions, then you can develop your own logic apps that's going to perform the actions. This is a very simple logic app that sends out an email whenever this kind of incident is created. Then final step is review and create, and then you can create it. Okay, so once you click on the create, it's going to deploy, and here you can see the status of the alert rule. And once this alert rule is deployed, and if there is any condition matched, for example, some user performs some specific options and it matches the criteria which is defined in the analytic alert rule, then we are going to see the alert rule for it. If you want to create your own alert rule, you know how to create it. Then let's say rule query. So here you have to make use of the KQL query. So I will say demo hyphen ag conf and say testing and credential access. So we can write some query. So for example, I will write some query related to the security alert. Okay, where session ID or whatever security event equal whatever, like I'll write something. Okay. Where operation doesn't work. So okay, I mean if you know the query, the exact query, then you can make use of it. So I will say security incident, and then here you can relate it. So for example, for accounting, we can say account. Once you add this, it's going to map up a condition. It's going to use the extend operation, which will just pull up the value as our custom entity and then assign it to the account. And here I will do some default settings, and then it comes to the logic app. So I will again select the logic apps, which will help me in triggering the automation, and then I can just do on a create. I'm not going to create it because my query is not it's just one simple keyword, but yeah, if you know the query you can do it. Now a couple of important things are remaining. One is the hunting and second one is the playbook. So let okay, now we talked about alert rule, and alert playbook is somewhat related to the alert rule. So we will just come back to the playbook and I will show you how we can create the playbook. So here you can click on the add playbook and it's going to take you to the logic app portal. And here you have to just make use of any logic app. So I will say, okay, I'm going to make this logic app and name is the LA demo AG conference, and then I can simply say it's doing the validation. I'm going to say create. So once it is created, we can apply our own logic apps which are related to uh, the automated response. They have their own. Azure Sentinel provides its own connector, which can be further used for correlating the thing. So I will just come to the logic app designer, and here I'll go to the app, logic app, and there I will say an blank logic app, and here I can search for the connector called Sentinel connector. So the Sentinel connector is there. I think at the moment we have only two connector, and I think both of them are in a preview. When I respond to an Azure Sentinel alert, so whenever the alert is generated, we can perform these all actions with it, and it provides you a further option. Like if you want to send out an email, so I will say just so sending out an email is not real automation. Real automation is when you perform some action. So we have got like create resource. So it can create the Azure resource, or it can uh, delete the Azure resource. For example, you set up a condition when somebody create a virtual machines where the firewall is disabled. Then you can write down that logic and then uh, use the option from here, delete the resource or delete a container group or delete a resource. There are many options, and then you can just do that activity so that uh, you can apply the proper automation. So I'm not going to create the run book, sorry, the uh, logic app book. I will show you the one which I have already created. So these are the two run books, the Logic App Playbook which I created, which can be used for the automation. So I just have to add them, associate them with the analytics rule, and which is going to trigger these playbook whenever there is an incident. So this one is associated with a couple of incident, and it's failing for obvious reason because I have not configured it correctly, but you can see it from its history. So you will see it like who triggered it and from where it got triggered. So it got triggered by the Azure Analytics rule, Azure Sentinel Analytics rule from here, and it got failed for some obvious reason. But yeah, this is just an example. Let's quickly go back to the Azure Sentinel. So we have seen how we can create the analytics rule. Ruling is a very important feature because it's the one which generates the alerts for you. Alerts, or you can call it as an incident. Now there was a very important capability that is called the hunting capabilities. There are instances when there will be no alert generated, when there is no incident generated. However, you still want to do some kind of investigation. So it provides you many inbuilt queries. So you see 172 queries are already there, and these are not the kind of a like these are the only 172 queries. Like if you log in again, and after 1 month you may see like they are grown up to 200. So it's all depend on like how many Microsoft is adding. So I will say rare activities initiated by any app. So I will just run this query, and it's going to tell me about like if there is any really a rare activity which is being performed uh, in my entire subscription or the things which I monitor. It's going to make some use, and then it's performing this kind of a query, and it will show you the result. However, if you want your own hunting capability, which I do because I know how to write a query, then you can just come here and say new query, and then you can like develop your own query. And if you want to do, okay, this is we are doing it from the live from the hunting capabilities, right? you can just come to the hunting capability, and then you can like just click on the new query, and then name it here something, and then write the query. So I can say and distant computer. So it will give me the name of the machines which are sending out the data to my log analytics workspace. This is the query which can be performed. And if you want more further hunting capabilities, then you can make use of the logs. Logs are very much they are taken it from the log analytics, so you can use these kind of a query. There are these query, or like if you are very good in the writing the query, then you can say Heartbeat is the very common thing. You can see the data in my workspace. Oh, I don't have any virtual machine. That's the reason I'm not getting it, but I can show you how much data we are listing data, the listing type. So I will show us how many type of data we are collecting. And so in the last 7 days, we collected the diagnostic log, security log, audit log, and many other kind of a log. So if you remember, while once I talked that log analytics can help you in getting the data sources. Can help you in getting the furthermore data. So what we have to do is, if we are into the log analytics workspace, then we can just go to the log analytics, and then this was the workspace which we were using. We can go to the advanced settings. We can go to the advanced setting, and then we can go to the data. From here, we can enable the collection. So I will say I want to collect the application log. So if you have properly synced if you have set up the connection between the log analytics workspace and the Sentinel, then you can see whatever the data is inside the log analytics workspace on the Sentinel page as well. So I have enabled the collection of the application log. In the same way, we can enable the collection of the sys logs, the local. It has many local, so I can do this local 0, and then I can click on plus and I can enable the data collection. So this is how we can make use of the log analytics as well, and this is how we can do the Sentinel. Sentinel has many great things. I mean, from here you can control the settings. If you are looking for the any SIEM tool, like if you have configured any SIEM tool in the past, and you see what is the pain. I mean, configuring the SIEM tool is itself is a very challenging activity. So you need a proper team to do that. But with the Sentinel, it's hosted on the cloud. You don't have to do anything. Everything is there. Just click few clicks and your Sentinel workspace is ready. So yeah, that was about the demo of the Azure Sentinel, as well as about the uh, I mean how you can manage the SIEM and a SOAR activity with the Azure Sentinel. So Microsoft, as I said earlier as well, Microsoft is making very heavy investment in it. They are analyzing the trends, the data or signals you can call it, making it. This is a great tools. That's kind of their ambitious project. They want to make it the best possible SIM and a source solution. And then communities are also contributing a lot. If you want to do some real deployment work, you can find n number of KQL queries. You can find n number of templates. KQL queries, the mean. If you know the KQL query, then yeah, you can just configure the analytics rule or a hunting capabilities or many things. So yeah, we can call it as a SIM and a source solution of the future. Okay, so yeah, this is how you can make use of Azure Sentinel for managing SIM and a SOAR activities. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching my session. And my name is Keshav. Again, I'll repeat it. You can reach out to my Twitter account, Keshav13, and my LinkedIn account is here. You can reach out there as well. And yes, one more thing: if you have not used the Sentinel so far, if you have not used the Azure Log Analytics so far, then please do go to the Azure portal and at least explore it first. You will see how it is different from the Azure other SIEM and SOAR solutions, and you can make use of the lot of benefit. So yeah, that's all about the session. Do join us in the next session. I think next session is about uh, like is the last session for the day, so you can see the closing notes. Okay, thanks a lot for watching my session, and